And we'll start with this. The White House is supporting and continuing a threat to shut down much of the government if President Trump does not get $5 billion from Congress for his proposed border wall. A shutdown could happen on Friday, December 21st, if Congress doesn't approve more government funding. Democrats say they will not negotiate over the border wall.
The budget fight was overshadowed over the weekend by a court ruling declaring the Affordable Care Act unconstitutional. Paula Reid is at the White House with the latest. Paula, good morning.
Good morning. Republican lawmakers have been scrambling to try to avoid a shutdown, but say they have reached an impasse. Now, Congress has until midnight on Friday to come up with some sort of deal to avoid a shutdown. But if they cannot, dozens of agencies will close down and hundreds of thousands of workers will be sent home before the holiday without pay.
We're going to do whatever is necessary to build the border wall.
White House senior advisor Stephen Miller stood behind the president's threat to shut down the government if Congress doesn't grant funding for the border wall.
And that means a shutdown?
If it comes to it, absolutely. This is a very fundamental issue.
There are not the votes for the wall in the House or the Senate.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said Democrats will not budge on their opposition to the $5 billion project.
All he's going to get with his temper tantrum is a shutdown. He will not get a wall.
He's urging Mr. Trump to accept his party's offer of $1.3 billion for border security.
We need border security.
An offer that was made to the president during last week's contentious Oval Office meeting.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security.
If both sides can't reach an agreement by Friday, more than 420,000 federal employees, including over 41,000 law enforcement officials and up to 88% of Homeland Security Department staff, would be working without pay during the holiday season. An additional 380,000 federal employees would be furloughed.
What a crowd.
Meanwhile, over the weekend, the president applauded a decision by a federal judge in Texas who ruled Obamacare's individual mandate is unconstitutional and that the rest of the law cannot survive without it. The president called it a great decision for the country.
And if the Republicans and the Democrats get together, we are going to end up with incredible health care.
In his ruling, the judge said that the individual mandate is unconstitutional because it no longer carries a financial penalty. Republicans eliminated that last year. But President Obama took to Twitter to assure Americans who use Obamacare that any appeal on this ruling could take months, if not years. Bianna?
Yeah, it's assumed to go back to the Supreme Court. But Paula, if the judge's ruling is upheld, what does that mean for the healthcare industry as a whole?
Bianna, this would have enormous ramifications for Americans and the healthcare industry. It is estimated that as many as 17 million Americans could lose their insurance. Now, different components of the act that could be in jeopardy include Medicare, Medicaid, pre-existing conditions, and employee-sponsored insurance. Now, according to a 2017 report, a repeal could also increase premiums by as much as 25%. A group of intervening states, of course, led by Democrats, promised to appeal this. But, that could ultimately, as you said, that would likely result in a showdown at the Supreme Court. Now, the court has twice upheld the constitutionality of Obamacare, but we have a new court with the additions of Justices Kavanaugh and Gorsuch. This could likely tilt the court to the right, but even the White House says right now Obamacare remains the law of the land.
Yeah, it's worth noting that the judge didn't issue an immediate injunction there, but we'll have much more on this conversation and what this means for every American's health care going forward in our next hour. Paula, thank you.